Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, everyone. How are all of my Crimsonites today? Hopefully everyone is fine. As you can see, I would like for everyone to give a warm welcome to Phillip Scott from the Advice Show. This brother has come a very long way. I remember when I used to watch Phil when he was a small channel. I used to watch you when you were a small channel. And now to see all of the expansion and the growth that your channel has had, that actually makes me happy. I'm very proud. I've always been watchful of your channel and very happy for all of your success because you're huge. The African Diaspora channel has more than 1 million subscribers at this point. So I want to welcome you. How you doing today, Mr. Phil?
How you doing, Miss Kendra? It's good to finally speak with you.
Definitely. You know, I think you probably was in the space longer than me in the YouTube podcasting space, if I'm not mistaken, if my timeline isn't incorrect. So, you know, I'm definitely happy to be able to have a conversation with you today. It's kind of been a long time coming. I remember reaching out probably a couple of years ago. And, you know, timing is everything. So I think now is a better time probably than a couple of years ago to have this conversation with you. So thank you so much. Somebody put his link to his channels in the chat for me, please. Okay, so Mr. Phil, I wanted to speak with you today with a subject that has been on my mind lately, and I was trying to figure out who best to have this conversation with. And I think it's probably somebody who, in my opinion, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is well-traveled, someone who has been married for years as well, who has a family, and all of these things established in your life. I wanted to talk to you about the extinction, as it were, of the Black American family. And I guess one of the questions that I want to ask to open this conversation is this: do you think, in your opinion, is the Black family going extinct, or are we on the verge of maybe like being obsolete or just not existing much anymore?
If you view social media, I would say, oh yeah, the worst thing ever. If you touch grass and you touch the pavement, you see families all over the place. You see people getting married all the time. But the thing that's dangerous today is that our younger people, male and female, do not want to get married. You cannot build a successful community without marriages. If you look at all the different immigrant groups that come to this country, they come in married. They're having at least 3 children or more. And if you're not doing that, you know, unfortunately, in some countries, we are called in Swahili the Mzungu sometime in our mind because they say we move and think like white people. Well, in some ways we do, because we're putting our elders in nursing homes and forgetting about them, which Black people never done that. We're not wanting to get married. We want to do whatever the hell we want to do. There's things that we just really didn't do. If you think back in the day when we were more successful in American history, we were married. When we built 70 plus towns in this country, we were married. When we did most of our innovation and inventions in this country, we were married. Even in slavery, in that horrible condition, we were married. But today, you know, I don't need a man, and it's about getting money. I use him, and then some of the dudes like, well, you know, I can just travel and give me a couple 304s. I'm fine, but you cannot build anything just everybody being single. You're going to have to get married. But this is the deal. This is the beautiful thing, Sister Kendra. The time is here and it's further coming where you're going to have to get married or you won't survive. You will be evicted and you will be homeless. You have to go back to the time of grandma and grandpa where you're going to have to be with each other. And that's the good thing about Donald Trump being in office.
Okay, so you bring up several good points, and I want to try my best to touch them if I can in this conversation. I agree with you when you say that we're really not going to survive without marriage, without those things, without us coming together as a family unit. Because as you said, and I've said it many times, we can't be a community without a family. Families are the building blocks of communities. And I do find myself recently almost hesitating to say that we are a Black community just because of the low marriage rates that we seem to have. And I think that, and I also agree with you that the younger generation is just not looking forward to getting married. That's not something that is the goal, as they say. And I wonder how much of that is a result of social media influence upon them. Because I'm sure you've seen so much anti-marriage rhetoric and content from both sides. I've seen men do it. I've seen women. We don't need to get married. No one needs to get married. One of the key phrases that tend to crop up in social media pertaining to marriage, and I'd like your thoughts on this, is from both sides, marriage is a scam.
Well, as a person who is married, as a person that dealt with divorce, as a person who paid child support until my son got 18, and as a person that remarried once again, I can tell you the way the laws are, we have to be honest. The laws are very slanted against men. And if you're a man that's broke, don't have no money, the laws don't really mean nothing. But when you a man that do good for yourself, you can be a man that don't cheat on your wife, don't beat your wife, do great by your children. Your woman could wake up one day and say, you know what? I don't want to be with you no more. Or she could cheat on you and still get half, even after cheating on you. Now, some states may penalize you for that, but no fault divorce means you could leave for any reason or any time. And so, at least on a lot of men aspects, especially men who got money, men that's making 80, 90, over $100,000 a year, where a divorce is going to hurt them. Maybe they got a pension, maybe they got a good 401k or something like that. They are penalized at the exit of the marriage, and he don't have to do nothing wrong. Like, I can understand if the man was beating a woman and cheating and doing the kids wrong. Listen, all of us are cool with whatever he go through, but there's been so many men. I've been through it. Okay. So many men who went through that, and they say, you know what? I don't think I want to do this no more, because Kendra, what kind of business deal would I go into with you and say, you know what, Kendra, we're going to be in business together and we're going to sign an agreement. And if any one of us leave this agreement, this business, you could take half the company. I can take half, or whatever the reason, we can leave. Now, would you want to sign up with that agreement with me?
No, not for any reason. Because,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you wouldn't sign that agreement in the area of business. Okay. On top of that, not only you get half of the business, you get assets on top of half of the business that you got to pay for, or you can go to jail. So it's a lot of men that have experienced that. But on the eyes of the guys that's podcasting, the popular guys, a lot of these guys never been married before to even discuss that, or even divorced before to discuss that. Be honest with you, they probably got a bunch of illegitimate children out here and paying child support. So that's that aspect with the guys. The women, the same thing. A lot of them never been married either, and they just talking. Or some of them are married, got a man telling you don't need a man, you don't need this, and that, and the third. Don't put up with this from a man, but then get off of that internet and go be with their husband while they gassing you up for AdSense checks. You understand? So that's kind of like the dynamics that you see with that, but it's also all counterproductive for anybody that needs to build a family. Because when the pandemic comes again, or hard times, you probably want to be looking for somebody A lot of women discovered that real quick during the pandemic. Guys that they didn't want to talk to. Now, hey, big head, you know, you look like you're a nice guy. When them office jobs go away, or 300,000 of you get fired in a month or two time.
Okay, so we got the financial aspect, which I'm going to stick a pin in, right? Because I do think that has a lot to do with the women's reluctance to actually not get married. I think women still want to get married. I don't think that they necessarily want to be wives, but I think that they want to get married to some degree because I think no matter how much feminist rhetoric they spew, that's a part of judging a woman's value. What kind of man she got, and can she keep him? But I'm gonna try to stick a pin in that, and I'm gonna go to something that you said about people on the internet giving all of this, not only advice, but telling other people how much marriage isn't worth it and have never been married before. In your opinion, without casting aspersions on anybody's particular platform, how detrimental or helpful do you think that these types of podcasts are, which are led by people who've never actually been in the trenches of a marriage one way or the other?
Well, let me start off with, it's the blind leading the blind.
Okay.
And so it's extremely detrimental. It's kind of like me going to a broke person asking for financial advice. Would I ask them? No, because they don't know how to handle no money, clearly, because they don't have any. I may have it, but they don't. So it's very detrimental. The things they do, if you study it, is propaganda. And it's repeated propaganda on both sides. It's not beneficial. I mean, you got to think about it. Rage clicking, rage watching, rage commenting is ways to go, right? At the end of the day, they're content creators trying to run a bag up. They don't really care about it being detrimental. They don't care. All they want to get is they paycheck at the 21st of the month. Okay. So they're not going to take responsibility of the microphone they on. Mm-hmm. And some of us who say this is really detrimental what they're doing, it is. But I'm going to tell you, Sister Kendra, what platform I believe is the worst platform. I didn't used to think this way, but until I did a lot of research, I was like, not YouTube. YouTube isn't the worst platform. It's actually TikTok.
Okay. I might get with you there because, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I have gotten on TikTok, and I actually got on TikTok. I'm gonna tell you why I got on TikTok, not to make content, but to see, engage the discussions that are being had, the content that's being put out by anybody, not even by any particular people, but just the general conversations that are being had in the Black community, Black TikTok, the women and the men, you know, and there are different subsections. I realize there's hoe talk, where all the hoes get together and talk
3 or 4 talk,
sex work, you know, and how to do this and how to do that according to sex work. And then you've got the anti-marriage TikTok, the divorce TikTok. You've got and all of those things. I rarely see content geared towards this is how we're actually supposed to do things. Marriage is not bad. Just because people are not conducting marriage properly doesn't make the actual concept of marriage bad. And I'm gonna go back to something else that you said you could, because you brought up laws, things like no fault divorce, the child support laws. I think everybody sort of understands, whether they are for it or against it, they understand the slant that the laws cause, and that the laws are mainly against men, and mainly it's not in the favor of men, especially since women can just say, you know what, I don't want to be here anymore. And like you said, without giving any real reason as to why this marriage didn't work or it can't work, you can just go file paperwork and then it's done. How, with that in mind, how helpful do you think it would be to the marriage rates and to people's willingness to get married in the first place would be if those laws were to change and be more balanced and more fair?
Oh, I believe it would change marriage across the board. I mean, a lot of men, so we talking about men that's well-to-do, men that's well off. They won't fear that I can lose everything going into this marriage. You understand? Listen, no fault divorce is, I think it's like this. If you want to leave somebody, because I don't believe you should be with somebody when you don't want to be, okay? I don't think on both sides. But you should not be able to just take everything from this man. Just take everything. And some women go through this too, Halle Berry, with high dollar child support, right? Or Mary J. Blige, right? They complain about those laws when it happens to them. Oh, they complain. But it happens to men all the time. So if you want to keep no fault divorce, that's fine. But you can't take half of somebody's income. You can't put this man on all kind of, I think child support should be joint, just like custody should be joint. I think you should look at what he get, what she get, look at what the expense of the child and say, okay, the payment is this. You split that payment down the middle. And then because the child going to live with the mom, and then say, okay, well, the mom not going to pay the system because the child living. So the payment is split. And then the non-custodial parent pay the other portion. So that way, both of them is actually putting into this system. I don't think it should be the best interest of the child. I think it should be based on a lot of factors, right? I mean, looking at what the child's medical needs are, what's the child's school needs, etc. Right? Mm-hmm. I think that child support should be audited, no different than the IRS will audit your taxes. How is it that the IRS will audit a business, but they're not auditing what's being done with the child support money? Because it's going to the state to go to you for child support. I believe paternity fraud need to be added because there's plenty of situations where paternity fraud has happened. I believe mandatory DNA testing should be done at the beginning when a child is being born. That way it does two things, Sister Kendra. One, you don't get to get to child support court and try to get you some time, say, oh, well, I don't think that child's mine, I need a DNA test. It eliminates that because we already know who the child is. And number two, that that child is yours up front. It won't be no questions, right? So you can't sign the birth certificate unless you do this DNA test. But you know who's against that the most?
The women.
Because they want to cover their 304 behavior, even in marriages. Because some men, like the state of Texas, if your wife cheat on you and she has that child, it's presumed yours.
Exactly.
Until you fight against it and show it's not yours. Mm-hmm. So you in a legal situation with a child that you could be paying child support for, that your woman went laid up with another man with. That's why this stuff needs to be taken care of in the hospital. Just my opinion.
That's true. So would it be fair to say that, in your opinion, even if they didn't get rid of no fault divorce, just the changing of alimony and child support law would go a long way into making marriage more appealing, especially for men who have something financial to lose should there be a divorce? Would it be fair to say, even just changing those, leave no fault divorce and let's deal with paternity, let's deal with child support laws, and let's deal with alimony laws, make that more fair, and men will be more willing to go forward in a marriage if that's what they wanted to do?
Yeah, I can agree with that, because you have to understand, when these laws put down in the books, women didn't have CEO positions. They weren't making six-figure incomes. Women have viable careers now. Women are business owners. So when those laws are archaic to basically to take care of a woman who just stayed home. And I understand why you would do that for them, but if you worked all your life, and listen, as a man who paid alimony temporarily for 6 months during my situation, and paying $1,500 a month on child, I was paying $2,500 a month. That's as including alimony during the time I was divorced, going through a divorce, and I did nothing wrong to cause that. Okay, at that time period. That's why I was even this close, Sister Kendra, from trying to go to law school to become a family law attorney, because I was like, men are being done wrong. I didn't understand how wrong that system is, and that system do not care what happens to you. All they want is their money, and if you don't pay, put you in jail. I didn't get put in jail. but you can go in jail. May not be able to register your vehicle. You may get your passport suspended. Oh, it's a lot could happen to you behind something that may not be your fault. Once again, if you're cheating on your wife, you're beating your wife, you're beating your children, you're doing bad, then hey, I don't have no sympathy for you. But the only time I have a sympathy is when you didn't do anything wrong. You did everything right as a man. Because the I'm not happy crowd, and then you go back to TikTok. They got women on there all day. I'm not happy, so I left my husband. I'm not happy. I'm like, well, happiness is a feeling. Right. It comes and goes. Just like anger is a feeling, it comes and goes. But there's so many of them within after 40 years old. That's when the divorce rate spike with women, according to research, because they start hitting menopause, and then they just start really changing. Okay, so if you're married and your wife haven't hit menopause yet, yeah. So that is a process you got to work through. And if they don't want to go through hormone replacement therapy, it's a lot that goes with that. But a lot of your divorces happen during the menopause period.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it does, because listen, I'm an old woman. So I can tell you from firsthand experience, perimenopause and menopause is not a joke at all. Those hormonal changes wreak havoc on just about every mental faculty that you have as a woman. And it's really not nothing you can't stop it from happening. The best you can do as a woman is sort of try to mitigate that and understand what's happening to you, and be more careful about decisions being made at this time, permanent decisions, because you won't be able to reverse a lot of it. And once menopause is over with, your sense come back. And then if you made terrible decisions during that time, such as breaking up your home when your home did not need to be broken, breaking your marriages when your marriage does not need to be broken, you will be in a world of trouble after that. After the hormones calm down and you can kind of get your brain back, that's why a lot of those women regret it so much after, because it's like, well, literally, we're not in our right minds during menopause for a large chunk of that. We're literally not really all ticking too good. So a lot of careful. So I'm not going to spend too much time with that. Women, be careful of every decision and all of your emotional reactions during this time. It's going to be heavy, but it's not as serious as the hormones is making it seem. Just my 2 cents for the ladies.
But Sister Kendra, I think more of that since you understand it, I think more needs to be discussed on that, because I was discussing this with a few people. Nobody's discussing that part. Nobody's discussing menopause. Nobody's discussing perimenopause. How men even going to deal with that? And the change that happened with a woman, and they wondering what's going on with her. Why is she this way? Hey, she was, swinging off of the chandelier. Now she don't want to do nothing no more. What's going on with her? Like, is it me? Is it her? Like, what's the problem? There's a whole lot to go in there that's not being discussed.
No.
I don't think people discussing is leaving and they not happy, whatever. Some of that stuff is because you're going through menopause. It's not even really that man did nothing. And like you said, they come to their senses and they're like, oh my God, I let a good man go. And then they trying to spin the block and see if they can get their husband back. And then it's too late, because once you let a good man go, there are so many women out there ready to snatch him up. Do not think no woman want your husband. Don't ever, if he's a decent man, don't ever think that. They are there waiting for you to fumble the bag. Trust me.
Mm-hmm. They definitely are. And you're right. I don't think it's discussed. I don't think that menopause is discussed in the right way. I think it's talked about a lot, but not from the perspective of it's likely a main catalyst for women my age and older of making decisions and seeing things in their marriage a certain way, it colored a certain way. I think a lot of conversation that surrounds women's menopause is either dismissive, y'all will be all right because all women go through this. That may be so, but that doesn't make it any less of a big deal for women to actually go through. And then you've got a lot of women who don't actually understand menopause, even as they go through it. They don't know what's happening to them. They don't know to attribute it to menopause. A whole bunch of stuff: weight gain, sex drive peak, and then the dip. So, and it causes, if there's no understanding and no serious communication between the husband and the husband will be frustrated, and the wife will be frustrated because she doesn't know how to control any of it. She doesn't know. All she can tell her husband is, I'm not the same. Like, I don't feel the same. I don't even feel normal. I don't know what to do. I can't. Yeah, I know we was all good a week ago with the sex, right? And now I don't really want you to touch me. I'm not attracted, but I don't feel anything. I don't feel anything at all sexually until it's over with. People don't talk about it from the standpoint that it is a phase. It's not permanent. Goes on for probably a few years, and then it's over with. Once that machine stops, because, and I'm gonna say this last part, and then I'm gonna go to a commercial break and come back. What people don't understand about menopause is that it's the stopping of a machine, a complex machine, which is our reproductive system that is designed to carry children. And that the stopping of that machine, gear by gear, gearing it down, is big. And I think even women dismiss the significance of it and don't address it properly. Not even just medically, properly at all. They don't address it properly at all. And then marriages are ruined off the backs of those decisions. But I'm not going to make this a menopause show. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a quick commercial break. I'm going to read these super chats, and then we're going to jump back into the real conversation, Brother Phil. So after these messages, we'll be right back. So I need everybody to go to ashkicking.com. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. If you're looking to keep your skin looking and feeling its absolute best, you need the body butter that is on your screen right now. And if this is going to be your first order, please take advantage of the 10% discount using the promo code Crimson at checkout. Once again, the link ashkicking.com is pinned to the top of the chat. Let me get to the super chats real quick. Thank you, Common Man. So I think the Black family is going through another change in time, y'all. We have to weather this storm. Okay. Thank you, Tommy Randall said, passing the plate, keep it going with the truth. Thank you, HVAC said, finally, been waiting for years, been watching Phil since the 8th grade, 2011 and 12 collab of the year here, guys. Yeah, been watching Phil for a long time. I'm not even gonna play. Thank you, David. Say, yep, happened to me. My ex-wife stated I had 3 kids and cheated on her. Left me and the judge ruled in her favor. Never asked for any proof. That's crazy work. Thank you, Enchanted One. Been a member for 3 months. I'm getting married to an amazing patriarchal man next month. Thanks to all the wisdom you've bestowed upon me. Thank you. I'm forever grateful. Want to come to the wedding. Congratulations, Miss Enchanted, to you and your fiance. My prayers to the longevity of your marriage and the goodness of your marriage. And thank you, Common Man. So I have no idea what you're talking about, Kendra. That's girl stuff, but I'm listening. And I understand that. But some guys, especially men who are married and dealing with women that's getting up in age, you're going to have to hear the girl stuff, because otherwise you're just going to be mad. You're just going to be mad. You're going to be frustrated. You don't know why she acting like that. You don't know why she quiet. And then the next minute she got an attitude from nowhere. And then the next minute it's minute to minute. And it's crazy work. But again, not going to make it a menopause show. Thank you, RBN. So, Mr. Scott, you had me on about a year ago. Good to see you with Crimson. Salute. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, RBN. Okay, Brother Phil. So I want to continue the conversation, and I want to go this way with it. So we talked about the laws. We touched on a little bit of the finances. Now I want to touch on the internet question and of what do you bring to the table? How, in your opinion, have we even understood the reality of asking a question like that to one another, the men to the women to the men? Do you think that we even understand enough about each other as men and women to properly assess each other's value for marriage?
I'm gonna say a lot of times people don't even have a proper example. At least I got a decent example of my grandparents who were married until they died. My parents didn't stay married till they, my parents did get divorced. My father remarried. My father's still married now, right? My mom, she did remarry a couple of times, but she's single now. But I will say this, that question for me in my personal life, anytime I've ever dated a woman or whatever, I've never asked a woman that, what does she bring to the table? I'm a doggone man. I was raised old school and I was taught by black men. You don't depend on a woman for nothing, not even for a morsel of food as a man, because that's just, we are supposed to be protectors and providers. So what a woman was, what I'm looking for as a man is she a good person? Is she nurturing? Is she kind? Is she feminine? Right? Is she very feminine? Is she going to have my back? Is she got a good character? I don't need her to do nothing. Now, of course, in the scriptural reference, she's supposed to be a help meet. I understand in this economy, two people may have to work and help each other to get to a certain point. And that's okay. But I believe that we should be in a partnership. It's not about what you bring to the table. No, what we bring to it as a couple and how we're going to take over the world. It's like some of the questions people are asking to me is stupid. That's a stupid question. All right, what do you bring to the table? What do you want her to bring to the table, bro? Like, I'm trying to figure out, because women aren't supposed to be taking care of men financially. That's more now. Women would ask that question another way. They're like, well, what you do for a living? Like, what do you work? They want to figure out if you can financially handle bills, right? They may ask questions about, you ever been in trouble with the law, and things like that. They're trying to figure out if you're a criminal or not, right? They want to make sure you're not going to beat them, cheat on them, etc. But all these people that are asking these questions, what you bring to the table on these platforms, just take a look at the messengers. None of them have relationships or even a marriage. They don't even have it. So why are you taking advice from people that cannot show you a viable relationship of anything? I never understand that. And people, oh yeah, he right, she right. Right about what? Listening to single people talk gonna keep you single. Because what are they gonna teach you? Only thing they can experts in is being single. So what you bring to the table type of stuff, I'm very hardcore against that, because I believe men should be about their bag and get their bag and don't even date until you get it. Because you got to have resources. That's the bottom line. If you don't have resources as a man, you shouldn't even feel right as a man without resources.
Okay. That's an interesting take. My opinion of the question of what do you bring to the table, I don't know that I have a problem with the concept of that. I think what I have more of an issue with is what that's based upon in today's conversation.
Okay.
I think 100 years ago, that's a different kind of conversation. I think at this point, we don't know what the other one is even supposed to, quote, bring to the table in order to assess whether it's valid or not, or whether it's valuable or not. For instance, I'll give you an example. When women talk about, well, in order to date me, he got to make 6 figures. He needs to make more than $100,000 a year. Now, my problem with that is you, as the women who typically say that, don't even have a real concept of $100,000 a year. Right. What it takes to make that, what kind of character traits you have to have in order to do that, and to also maintain that. That's number one. And then number two, my issue with women who make that a constant talking point is they place too much value on a man's pocket. Should a man have resources if he wants to build a family? Yes. He should have, at minimum, the plan, not the dream, the plan, the vision, how he's going to get to a certain place in his life, clarity of his mind, what he's trying to do, and not trying to, well, we'll see how it go in not only a relationship, but every aspect of his life. He gonna see where it go. Not that. A guy that actually has some type of plan, he understands what he wants to do, and he can make some type of order out of his life in order to get there, some steps to get there. That way he understands what kind of woman he needs to help him achieve that, to be the helpmeet, as we say from a biblical standpoint. What kind of support does he need from a woman? He needs her to be more than just pretty, more than just whatever superficial things. Maybe he needs her to be intelligent. Maybe he needs her to have other qualities that would actually assist him. But I think women put too much onus on how much money he has to have, rather than what kind of person he is and the potential to be that kind of person. Because a man can be broke. Let me put it this way. There are men who can make money, lose it, and because of who they are, make it again. So just because he's broke right now doesn't mean he's going to stay that way, because of who he is, not what he has. He doesn't have a poverty mindset. His mind is not poor. His pocket might be a little low right now, but that's okay. If he has good leadership skills, good, ability to create order and structure, that's actually going to go a long way for his husband station and whether or not he's ready for that. I hope I'm not rambling too much.
No.
But my point is, like, even from the other side, you got men that'll say, I just need her sex, silence, and a sandwich. That's not what you need. That's not what you need. It sounds catchy, but that's not even real. And that's not what you need. That's not a real woman. Any woman can fake that. Any female with a double X chromosome can figure out a sandwich and some sex and don't be bothered with you. That's not a marriage either. So my point kind of goes back to, I just don't think we have a good criteria for what is valuable to even make a good judgment. I think at this point, it's just talking points. Like you said, like, people are single giving this so-called advice. And my question is always, especially when they get too deep into the trenches, my question in the back of my mind is always, when was the last time you had a successful relationship? And what did it consist of? Like, where are you getting this information from? From the hoes you date? Women, where are you getting this information from the dudes that trick off on you? Like, where was the meaningful relationship at? I think it's a lot of projection, in my opinion. Before I moved on, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
Yeah. I was waiting for me. Well, let me say something. Those who say, and it goes back to this TikTok thing, to that hypergamy situation, that every woman sits up here talking about they want a man make $100,000. First of all, $100,000 is not much money these days. So let's go with the real number. About $250,000 would be the real number. So $250,000 and up. A lot of them aren't ready to deal with a man like that. What comes with a man like that is he's not around. He's either at the office working. If he has a home office, he's in his home office a lot. He's working a lot to maintain that. Okay. Are you going to be cool with that? Or are you not going to get frustrated with him working so much? Or you're not going to go find some guy because he's not spending time with me, so that's why I end up cheated. You really don't know what it takes for a guy to make that kind of money. That's number one. Are you going to be that kind of wife that now with the man, what you were saying, some men say that, beyond which a lot of men are looking for things that women can do for free. And that's really what a lot of men are looking for. When they say, well, yeah, a man would like a woman to know how to cook. Why? We can't go to a restaurant all doggone time. Right? So that's free. As long as let's say he provide the food, she cook it. Yeah, he want to clap cheeks. Okay. It may cost you some time, but that's still free. Okay, that's free. Take care of children. Where's y'all children supposed to take care of that? Be nice. Not have an attitude. That's free. Okay. Most men are saying on surface level is things that are free, but they act some on the internet. You go to the internet, act like it cost them $100,000 to do any of this free stuff. You know what I'm saying? Have some respect. That's free. None of that's gonna cost you anything to do. Now, telling the man he got to make $100,000, $200,000, that's gonna cost him something: time, effort, etc. Oh, he got to buy me this and buy me that. Once again, it's gonna cost him something tangible to make that happen. It's not something free. So they look at women online. It's funny. I know people that literally will go to get a private plane, have them wheel it out, film their content, pay what they pay for them, and they go put it right back in the hangar. Okay, you thinking they getting off a private jet? I always tell people, you see that kind of content, let them get on the plane and watch the plane take off with them showing it out the window. Then you know they're actually flying on it, right? Mm-hmm. But that hypergamy content, I think, is silly. It's silly because it's not realistic. The majority of men in America don't even make 100,000. You know what I'm saying? It's what, about 6% of men. And listen, if a woman has that standard for herself, she can have that. I respect her. But she just took herself out the majority of the dating pool. And a man, you shouldn't get offended. If a woman says, well, you don't make enough, fine. You're right. I don't make enough. God bless you. And let's go get you a woman that you can make enough. Now, statistically speaking and research, because I do a lot of research, it is better for a man that will get a wife at Applebee's who's a waitress, a cashier at Walmart, than it would be the nurse or the doctor. Research why I say that, gentlemen.
Better to go get the chick working at Applebee's than the nurse or the doctor. Okay. Would that have to do anything with the statistics that say nurses and things of that nature cheat the most and have the most affairs as well?
Yes, but not really.
Okay.
Any time from what just research, because I do a lot of it. Anytime women get into a very high earning positions, they literally have to take on masculine traits to be in those positions because they're competing with men constantly. And what happens is once women naturally get into a position they normally not in, masculine traits and certain amounts of money, the first thing they say, well, I want a man that makes equal to what I make, because they're still women. So they're still looking for resources. So even if they're making 100,000 a year, that's why they say they want a man that makes 200,000, 300,000, because they still want to be able to pull resources from that man, but they don't realize that their position is not even realistic based on the average amount women make and the average amount of men make in the United States of America. So reason why research shows it's better to marry the girl that works at Dollar General than it would be the girl that works at your local hospital that could be making 120, 150 a year very easily, is because she would be more feminine and be more appreciative of what you may do versus the one that already got the money, had to become literally take on some masculine traits. You understand? Mm-hmm. Women don't cheat. I mean, women do cheat. Yes, they do. But when you mentioned about the cheating at the hospitals and all that, well, you didn't take on a lot of masculine traits. Men are more known to quote unquote cheat than women, right? Now, women's more sneakier with it, yes. But regardless, they take on masculine traits. So, fellas, if you're looking for a wife, meet her at Dollar General, Applebee's, anywhere, places like that. This is my suggestion.
Oh, okay. Okay. I hear you. I definitely hear you about the mentality of certain women, which kind of leads us almost back to the point about women's finances. And saying, I want a man that makes more than me. I think it's deeper than just wanting the resources of the man. It's that. I'm not discounting that part, but the part that women will never, especially the women who make such a big deal about what a man has to have in order to be with her and this and that, the part that she'll never say is that women are always looking for the man to be better than her. To be better than her. They don't like admitting that because they'll say, well, I want an equal partnership and, you know, I want to be equal with the man. No, they don't. That's actually a lie. That's a lie.
It is.
Men have to be better than women. And if she doesn't think you're better than her, that's where the disrespect comes in at. And that's where looking down on you comes in at. And she feel like she can talk to you a certain way. And she feel like she could treat you a certain way because she doesn't deem you better than her. All women, whether she's submissive or not, whether she's what I call a hyena or not, whether she gonna act right or not, she could be one of the worst women ever in terms of her character, and you don't want to deal with her. She want a man that she perceives to be better than her. Don't no woman want a man that they don't think is better than them in some kind of way. He gotta be better. He either gotta earn more money or he just gotta be a better person than she is, have better vision than she does. He gotta be better. My husband's better than me. He's better than me. I like it that way. I appreciate that. He's smart. You know, he's got all of these qualities. He's more patient than I am. Like, he's got all of these wonderful qualities that I like, and they're better than mine. They're better than mine. I think a lot of women don't like admitting that because it makes them seem less than or somehow not good, but that's not true. We want men that are better than us. And these women, these modern women, know that, but they don't know what better actually means. They think better means just more money. But that's not really true. That's not the whole picture. This is why sometimes when they get that man that has more money, they still don't like that man, because a lame can have money. A man that's not a good in a relationship can be good in business. So he can make him some money. He can be smart on how to have a business, but he's not a very good partner. So these women can get these men, quote unquote, and then still not like these men and still not respect these men, even though he has the dollar amount that they said they wanted and needed in order to be in a relationship with a man. They miss the rest of the man. And I think that's a big part of the problem with a lot of online rhetoric. And like you said, the hypergamy content, the level up content, women trying to tell other women that they have to get a man that does this and does that, and she got to be a boss chick and all that, misses the entire point of men and who men actually are and what the value they actually have and can bring to a woman's life if he wanted to do that. I rambled. I'm sorry.
Hey, Kendra, it's your show, sister. Listen, that hypergamy content is basically propagandizing women into accepting 304 behavior, transactional relationships. Like, okay, you get into a transactional relationship, well, that's no different than the blade. That's how I view all that content. It's just getting women to accept, hey, well, if you want to spend time with me, you got to pay. Well, if a dude gonna pay and say, hey, well, if I'm gonna pay, then I need to be clapping some cheeks then. If I'm gonna pay, I'm cool. I just need to be, I'm not gonna be paying it just to feed you. No. I got to get what I can get. So that's what that comes into. Relegating a man to a dollar sign is very ugly and prostitutish. Sorry, it is. When I heard you describe what you view about your husband, that was all character. That was not, I didn't hear you mention dollar signs. Now that's how you supposed to look at it. His character, whether he got $1 million today or $100 tomorrow, because it can happen. That's life. Any of us can have money today and then go broke tomorrow. Things happen. People get sick. Bad business deals happen. All kind of things happen. It could be your mama then got sick and you didn't paid all kind of money for your mama, helping your mama out, and it took you down. So life happens. That's what people don't understand. I wouldn't want somebody that say, well, he makes a certain amount of money, so now I want to be with him. The hell with you, because you're not a good person. And that's the key. What is the character of that man or that woman? What is the character? And if a woman looks at you as a dollar sign, then she's not a good person. And I don't care how she looks, because as men know this, you get over a woman looking about 5 minutes. Once you see her nasty attitude and her ways and her $100,000 and $250,000 in student loan debt and her credit and everything else she got going on, and her high dollar, she got a BMW, but she paying $1,900 a month for it. Yeah, I actually seen a black woman paying that on a video on YouTube. $1,900 a month. Why would a man want to get involved with that? Because she's showing out? Man, hell no. So that's why I tell gentlemen, do not get upset if a woman say you're not on her level financially, because that's a dumb woman, period. Say thank you for your time. I appreciate you. You're right. I'm not on your level, and I'm going to go move elsewhere. I don't think you should make those women change. Let them women say what they're going to say, because I think gentlemen need to hear it, accept it, and just go with people that can trust me. We got billions of women in the world. Don't trip on just one. There'll be a woman out there for you, bro.
It definitely is. It definitely is, because if she's that hung up on that, a statement such as that, you're not on my level financially. And it's like, you can tell just from her saying that she doesn't even understand what comprises a relationship to begin with. She doesn't understand that. She's stuck on money. And like you said, because I just call it flat out hoeing. All of that boss chick, you got to cash out me, and you can't talk to me unless you do pay for my nails first. But that's hoeing. It's flat out
I'm sorry, Kendra. I have to interrupt. That is a broke, dusty female. Like, any woman with common sense and respect do not need a man to pay for their hair, nails, feet, or anything, because she works. She has self-respect. She's not going to do that. So if a woman approach you, well, you gonna pay for my nails? No. Well, I'm blocking you. Thank God.
Right.
Because you are not my child. Men should not be paying for women like they're their children. Sorry, you're grown. Right. Act like it. Or we can get into Dr. Francis Cresswell's. I'm sorry. Shahrazad Ali would say most of them mentality is like a 14-year-old anyway in a grown woman body. And a lot of time we see that with that childish behavior like that.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm with you on that. It is broke. They don't see. I don't know why they don't see it as broke, dusty behavior.
It is
to immediately try to ask a man that you've been knowing all of 2 seconds, just because he might have complimented you or shown some type of interest, or what have you, thought you was pretty, wanted to talk to you, whatever the case may have been, and your first instinct was to try to charge him for doing that. You are broken, dusty. That's not. They want other women, or they want to portray to other women that this is about, control in the relationship, or establishing that he's gonna pay for you because a man that like you will provide for you. And that has a truth to it, but he talked to you 2 seconds. He don't know if he like you or not. So you can't, he provide what? What does he need to provide? Y'all are not in a relationship. All that man did was DM you. This is not a relationship. He don't owe you nothing. These will be the same women. I don't owe him no sex. These are the women that get flued out and then get left at the airport because they didn't want to let the guy clap cheeks, talking about, I don't owe him no sex. But you hoeing. You hoeing. You got flew out to hoe. He paid for your ticket, paid for your hotel or Airbnb, wherever y'all was at. You know the deal. You reneged on your end of the bargain. So he left you at the airport, beloved, because you hoeing and you don't want to hoe. They want people, particularly other women, to think that this is some type of boss move, and it's not. To try to beg men that owe you nothing. These are not your husbands. These are not men that owe you anything, not even so much as a good morning. To try to get him to pay rent and bills and nails and hair and all of that, that is broke. Ladies, look me in my eyeballs. That is broke. Aren't you working? You can't go get some nails. This cost me all of $45. Y'all ain't got $45. Every 2 weeks you get paid. You ain't got $45 to get your nails done. I don't want to hear it. Leave them bed in. Go to Dollar Tree and get you some nail polish. They sell it for $1. And paint that on your nails. I don't want to hear it. And braid your hair back like Queen Latifah and set it off. Since you can't afford your hair, you don't need to do that. I rambled again.
Oh, you good. You good. So this your show. Only thing I'm saying is if you're gonna tell a man that he gotta pay for your hair, nails, and this and that and the third, then you say, okay, if I'm gonna pay for all that, then shoot. What time you need to meet me at the room?
Right.
What? Like, well, yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna pay, I might as well get something out of it, because you getting your nails done don't get nothing for me. Right. You know, I mean, you got to get that gutter with some of them. Be honest with you, then they'll learn to stop asking questions like that. You call their little friend. He asked me what time we gonna meet at the room. Like, well, you started off like that, like you on the blade. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these women today are prostitutes, sex workers. That's what they are. Don't even talk about the OnlyFans stuff. They sex workers. So I think that should discount them immediately. I see one comment say, well, you know, it makes a lot of us regular guys no, have trouble or whatever. No, you don't have no trouble. You just stay away from those types. But also some of the ones that are quote unquote living in Section 8 talk that way too. And that part is even funny. They talk that way. I want a guy $100,000 woman. Crazy. You only make $26,000. That's why you're on the program. What are you talking about? You know, if a woman ever tell you that, gentlemen, say, can we compare tax returns? I just want to see what you did, and I'll show you what I did. Okay. If you made more than that, then I'm cool. You know, it's silly. Like, what happened to black people? I even said, like, what happened to y'all? That's not the way we have talked. Like, that's what I say. You sound like the white folks. Like, stop. They don't work for us.
No, it don't. Not the tax returns. Because, baby, if you get a return and I pay taxes, we are not the same.
Yeah. Kendra, I hate. Listen. When I hear that the Republicans are in office and they trying to tear apart the IRS, I'm clapping. Okay.
Please audit
because
the IRS.
I can't stand that entity, the IRS, especially when I had a problem with it one time. Kendra, one time, Kendra, I say this publicly. I got a letter from the IRS one time, Kendra, telling me, oh, you didn't report $91,000. I say, what? That's a lie. Well, what ended up happening, Kendra, they double counted the money I reported. And I had to go through a process to show them how they were wrong. You know what I'm saying, Kendra? I don't get a refund. I wish I could, but I don't get one.
No.
So yeah, if you're getting a refund, you're not making no money.
Yeah, if you getting a refund, please don't talk to me. Please don't take me off.
Unless you like in them Walmarts and you got the game on lock with tax attorneys and you getting them subsidies back and all that other money back from your taxes. I haven't got to that level yet, but I'm on the regular people level in small business. I don't get nothing back. I get nothing. I have to pay.
No. Got to pay. You know, you have to become either you're not making money and you get a return, or you're a corporation entity and you understand how to get tax breaks or shelter money in long story short, and then you can sort of play that game with them. But those of us who are in the middle of that, but in the middle of those two extremes, yeah, we got to walk a tightrope with the IRS. How dare they? The unmitigated gall of them trying to audit your money to see whether or not they got they cut good enough or not is diabolical work. So I'm really hoping that is President Trump's next thing. Give the IRS a 10-year audit where we don't have to pay them until they finish the audit. That's all I need. That's all I need.
Kendra, I seen one of your commenters in there saying the IRS is sending you a letter every other week. I will tell you about the IRS. Two entities you don't play with in America: child support and the IRS. They will jack you up. Please answer them letters with them people. Work with them. They'll work with you. If you ignore the IRS, you will see what happened to you, buddy. Don't play with the IRS. Don't do that. Immediately respond to them people. They'll work with you. Trust me. They'll put you on a payment plan or whatever you want to do, but don't dismiss them, please.
Yeah, don't dismiss them. You'll wake up with a lot of problems one day and you won't know. They'll just drop the hammer on you. They will do it. They will drop the hammer and then they'll tell you, no, we sent you a letter. You didn't see that? You didn't see that? You didn't get that letter? When we told you, it may be worrisome to deal with the IRS. I don't like that entity, but I do not suggest y'all ignoring them. That's not going to help you. It's not going to make them go away. They're just going to increase what they do to you. Liens, freezing of accounts,
like Dr. Umar,
garnishing your garnishing wages. You will look up and you won't have a dollar to your name messing with them.
Or tax evasion charges.
Money from you. Their gain.
You don't think you want tax evasion charges? No, you don't want that. So yeah, please answer them people.
All you got to do is pay them a little bit to keep their mouth shut. They can't say you ain't paying them. It may not be what they want in the time frame that they want, but if you pay them something, they can't say you're not paying them.
Well, Kendra, I disagree. You need to get on a reputable payment plan with them and stick to it. Do not miss a payment, because if you miss a payment, they're going to go enforcement on you. So trust me, I know I pay them. That's why I tell you, get on a payment plan. They'll work with you. Just like child support. You behind in child support? Call them up and say, hey, look, I'm this and that. What can I do to work this out? Look, work with child support. Because if you don't work with them, you will be brought back to court. Please work with them. I tell that to anybody, please.
Yeah, you definitely. I don't mean, give them pennies, but if you put yourself on a payment plan, just pay what you said you're going to pay, and they will accept that payment plan. They want the whole thing, which is why they penalize you with interest charges. But if you say I can only pay X amount every month, pay that amount every month. Just make sure you can pay that amount every month. And then they can't say you're not working with them. They gotta honor it, because that's the agreement that y'all entered into. But aside from that, we're gonna end this off. I want to give you the floor, Brother Phil, for your final thoughts before I read these super chats and log off of here. Anything that you want to say at all, sir?
Well, just to back up to one point in the show, right? I just want to just add two things, like I said, because it's very, very important. You mentioned about family and this, because some people are married and they're going through that section you mentioned earlier about menopause. There are 32 symptoms of menopause, gentlemen. 32, research it. And 67% of divorces with after the age of 40 up to 52, 53 happens because of mostly symptoms that due to menopause. So it is an issue that you're going to have to deal with. And a lot of people not talking about it in the Black community. We talking about Black family, right? We're not talking about it. Some women feel funny about it, but a lot of men need to talk about that aspect as well, because the changes really affect us a lot too, just as much as affect them. So yeah, I just want to bring that up. So to keep our family together past 40, we need more education about that, women and men. But in relation to other things with a family, we need to get back to spending time with each other. Get back to the family reunions. We're not doing that no more, right? Big Mama and them gone, and all that has stopped. We got so much communication on this phone, but we really don't communicate at all. Have you noticed that, Sister Kendra?
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah. Have noticed that as well, in the family reunion thing, because I talked about that a few weeks ago, where they did like I want to say it was like a survey of how Black families it dropped 50% for family reunions. Like, we don't have them in that extended family, Big Mama and Big Daddy and the uncles and all that kind of stuff getting together. And I thought that was a very telling symptom of our lack of family structure at this point.
Yeah, it's more so, I'm pretty sure you're Gen X. So maybe your older millennials got to experience some of it, but you got your Gen Zs. They didn't get to experience any of that. And that's why, in my opinion, Gen Z is so feral. I know a word I'm using. I'm using that for a reason. They're very feral. You know, like they don't know where they going, what they doing. They just wild out here. It's because they really had no structure. Unfortunately, a lot of them. It's not their fault. It's just that's why I'm concerned a lot of times. You know, for a lot of those young brothers and sisters, and because they don't really have the structure that we had growing up. If you think about the 80s and 90s, how we grew up. You know, we kind of the last that really got to see a proper family structure. Even though we dealt with the crack epidemic, even though we dealt with mass incarceration, we still seen Bible Black communities and things like that, right? Most of us have, at least. I'm pretty sure you have, right, Kendra? Mm-hmm. Okay. But you look at the you know, I mean, the generation is walking around in 100-degree weather with all black on, hoodies on, and Pooh Shiesty mask. And I'm like, something's wrong, Lord. Wrong. Like, you don't have nobody put them to the side. Boy, aren't you hot? What you walking around with all that black on for? Them? You asking for them white folks to come shoot you, right? The police. Mm-hmm. Why are you dressed like that? You know, it's just we don't have that no more. You know, and that's just sad.
It is sad. It's very sad. Them Pooh Shiesties, I go the other way when I see them, because you're right. It will be 90-degree weather and they will have them little tight jeans on and that shiesty and a hoodie. And you know you hot. I don't know why you get, you know, the only time you used to see people ill dressed like that is when they had a mental problem.
Yeah.
When they had a mental problem.
Mm-hmm. And the question I have, Sister Kendra, because I'm big about this, like, aren't they musty and stink? Like, come on, you got a black hoodie on in 100-degree weather, and you can't tell me you not stink. You can't tell me that. I'm sorry, you can't tell me that. Then I hear from them young ladies that some of them young men don't have good hygiene either. You know, so it's kind of like, you know, you're sweating, you're not putting on deodorant, everything is just stank on you. It's like, come on. So, yeah, I think some of it is mental health issues, Sister Kendra. I really think it is.
Brother Phil, why you do that? Why you say that?
Well, you know, on my show, I talk like that. So you know, hey.
Not they stink.
Well, Sister Kendra, if you put on a hoodie and it's black and you're outside all day long, you're going to sweat. Sweat eventually being trapped in. It's not even breathable what they're wearing. They're going to stink. They're going to be musty all over the place. They're going to have sweat. I'm just saying. A lot of them look unkept. Their hair be looking a mess. They don't look like they brush their teeth, some of them. You know what I'm saying? Then they walk around here with these. Listen, even in the airport, don't get me started with that. You're in the airport with bonnets on, looking like that too, right? Mm-hmm. And I even said I rail against that. Like, what happened to our young men when they walk? First used to be a complaint about the women wearing bonnets in the airport. Now you got dudes with bonnets in the airport, okay? You got dudes that sit more time in a beauty salon than in the barber chair. You trying to keep your hair done or whatever. I love my little grandson. He's 6 years old. And he said, why would somebody put on a bonnet? He wouldn't even put one on, and he got twists in his hair. He put on a wave cap. He refused to let his mama or anybody put a bonnet on him. I said, you're right. You don't let nobody put no bonnet on you. You're a boy, you're gonna be a man. And that's for women. That's for girls. What's next? These dudes gonna walk around here with the moo-moos next in the airport? That'd be next.
They walking around in skirts in Atlanta, but we not.
Yeah. There you go. But my thing is, black women, that's your fault, because you're allowing it. You're dating them. Then you want to get bothered
and
when he's chasing a transformer. Like, you wouldn't wonder what kind of man you had. But that's a conversation of a different day.
That's a completely different conversation. Because and the skirt was cute. I was like, why he got on a blue jean skirt, beloved? It was flare. I was like, oh, they really doing. I don't like that. Y'all got skirts on talking about y'all hardcore. I don't know what kind of hardcore gang stuff that is. That's a different kind of gang. You know what? I'm not gonna go there. What I'm gonna do is read these super chats. The rest of these super chats. Thank you, Black Housewife, for your contribution. I appreciate you, sis. Thank you to everyday Muslims. I know men who earn around 50 or 60 yearly and potentially six figures. They earn the same as me and aren't stable enough mentally to care for a family and work. 60 hours a week. Thank you, Hannibal Africanist. Say American men are still in reality where if we don't work, we don't eat. Women have a significant social safety net that eliminates consequences. They will not act right until they have to fear God again. Thank you, Dr. Steele. Said, wow, certain women want six-figure men, 6-foot tall men, bad boy Simpson tricks. Those certain women seem to not look at character. These women want men for the wrong reasons. Thank you, Scott. So America needs to quit the individualistic mindset. Thank you. 52 says, salute, Crim and great show. I appreciate you. We do a little short something. Thank you so much. Sorry to cut it short. Thank you, DJ, for your super sticker. Appreciate you. Thank you again. Dr. Steele says, seems more and more women on these panels talk more about how they provide than how they protect, procreate, and problem solve. Thank you, CMC. Awesome seeing you two doing a show together. You know we have to have a part 2. LOL. Thank you again. HVAC said funeral is a new family reunion, and not this Gen Z black man. Us 90s kids didn't do that. That's them 2010s Gen Z. I stay away from them YNs. I'm Unc in Gen Z and them bonnets. LOL. Okay. Listen, I want to thank everyone for coming and hanging out with us. I definitely want to thank you, Brother Phil, for your time and giving me your time out. And took up about 1 hour and 15 minutes of your time, but it was well spent. I hope that you feel the same as well about that. And maybe we can do a collaboration again in the future if we want to. We'll think about it, y'all. But I want to thank you for your time and your conversation today. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, is the Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.